And we're back. Um, I'm gonna load up my character again, exactly like I did for the anim import. Just copy that path over. It's gonna load that name. I don't know if that should be actually um, a name for it, or sorry, if you should set that name or not. Basically, it's based off of I think the folder that I forced you to save it in. But you be the judge. You can delete this and force it yourself. So anim index, that should be another bug right there. Nice, nice. Anyway, we're gonna just view this node. Take a moment. I don't know what is taking so long. Okay. Yeah, I can see there was some problems with loading this without an animation applied to it. Basically, I think you know, there are issues if you don't have one piece of the puzzle kind of already set up. So we'll be looking into how we can alleviate, major work stoppages because I think it looked like it was going to crash, but for the next minute, it was just trying to sim and not telling you anything that would be helpful. But moving past that, uh, the animation needs to be applied to the character. So let's load up the animation by going. We'll start out in our hip directory. Ooh, test environment. Go animations, Mr. Big Man, AS Saunted Lunge, and pardon me. The first thing I should explain about this is that basically, because of the way that animation is applied to the character needs to have its own animation transferred to it. Thereby, it needs to be its own file loaded. Now, when you have multiple characters using multiple animations, that means they're going to have their multiple uh, animations in different folders, and there's a trick to doing this. The trick is that the Mr. Big Man folder is going to be different for a different character. So, for instance, Tommy will be in here as well too. We can use Tommy as an example, but we're going to have to load the uh, name of the character as an expression. And you'll see here there's name and name one. We only want name because, again, name one is an individual character. Name is any one of the list of the characters based off the index. So let's load up Tommy again and show you what I mean. This is this one, right? Mr. Big Man Cash, Tommy Cash. So those are the challenges that are in there. Still annoyed. That should have been a local variable to start with, but we'll fix that in a moment. You don't need to change anything in here per se. If you're using the exact same system that we have here. The reason being is that the motion clip will give you all the attributes you need, but we have to go inside of this. And this may change as well too. We might do the same thing as bring out the automate node, put it beside it, But right now you can allow editing of content. Oh, you can do both actually. Let's do that. It'll show you an error there. Allow editing of contents, and then go inside of it. You'll see the major structure of this, and then it goes through the process. And I'll leave the details of this one alone. Basically, I just want to show you that you can set these characters up and how you can set them up and visualize things. So we've got this one, two different characters. And you can see there's a char index that we have here, char index 1 and char index 2. This one is Tommy, char index 2. And this is Mr. Big Man, char index 1. And as you can see up here, that matches our two characters. So we will do at char index. I can spell, I swear. And then go to 2. I'll click on the second one. So this is Tommy we're expecting. And then you'll see it's set to Tommy up here. Now it's still the same animation, anim index. That's still not pulling. Oh, sorry. It's on manual right now, so it was not. It'll never work on manual. uh, well, sorry, I shouldn't even say that. It'll definitely work. It's just like, you'll be scratching your head, going like, "Well, oh my God, why is it not working?" And it's like, yeah, it'll probably work if you just, send it to a farm or something like that. But let's head back up here and invalid. Interesting. Tissue solver. So it's saying cooking is interrupted here. Basically, a way around that is, let's just look at this, and then, yep, cooking's fine. Basically, if I've set this up in a way that doesn't necessarily make sense for, uh, you have to have all of the parameters set up ahead of time before you evaluate anything, which in doing this tutorial, it works, but doesn't really work if you're new to it. So let's say not the greatest, needs work, but that's what the beta is all about, basically. If you guys have any suggestions or anything like that, I mean, we're all ears. Basically, I want to simplify this. That's the whole point of doing a sim system like this. But we've done a lot of work on it. I think it's mainly like blocking you and telling you what needs to be done before you launch a sim is kind of what really has to happen. But you can see here, so now we have our animation name. That'll always be the important thing to see up here, basically, and our character name, Tommy. We want to see our other character, Mr. Big Man. We'll just disable Tommy. We don't need Tommy. I mean, we all need Tommy, but we don't really need him right this second. And that's it. So if you wanted to save this out as a cache now, let's go and just evaluate the output of this. And it's going to run through and start simulating the muscle cache. I've turned off the skeleton cache, and I've explained that in the other video. Basically, just kind of time saver and space saver on your hard drive. If you want to see what's going on with your character or your muscle cache right now, for those of you who haven't used Tops much, basically you're going to come back out here and be like, okay, this is my muscle cache, and we can hold W and click on our anim cache to kind of like template that and see that as a secondary thing. But the main thing is now that this is running, we can see that we go back here to our muscle cache ROP fetch. This is fetching the save geo function basically from our file cache node up above. But it's going to, if you go right click, work item info, give you a handy progress report down at the bottom here. So I've started the first frame basically, right? It had to load Houdini up here and then telling you some information about what it's actually cooking. Now we've got 1% of it done. So let's go over here and you can click reload geometry and you'll see it. There we go. and you can press the file to open it. We've got up to frame 972. And that is the long and short of setting up a sim. I think the fat actually needs to, it's got a little, getting a little bit funky. We can set this check mark right here and stop the sim. You press Shift D or dirty. Let's get dirty and cook it. Down here again, and we can go back and restart the cache and what is it? Press Control and middle mouse, it'll bring that up instead of uh, the work item info there, and just wait for it. Do 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 do. Read any good documentation lately? Let me tell you about the procedural anatomy documentation. Oh yeah. As I sip and slurp my cold coffee. And there we have started our first frame. The reason I restarted again was because the fat is actually the mass of the fat is probably broken right now. I believe we will be launching a new way to get updates, and the first update should be this week. Hopefully, from here we'll launch the next. Well, we'll say this week, but point is fix a few things that just slipped through the cracks before we launched. A lot of the problem, let's say, like those parameters that I was telling you, extra things like that, those are not going to be fixed super quick. We're just focusing on hot fixes right now, just to get the best out of the beta. But yeah, it should be coming together. And where do we got it? It's 1307, 8. There we go. So we're getting 3 frames a minute. Not too bad. Might be even too, the fat might be too lightweight now, but we'll see. Okay, and this is what I was able to achieve with this output of the sim. This is with a updated version of the HDA. So we'll be delivering that sometime soon in the next day or two. But basically the fat now works with the characters properly, and it shouldn't break or stretch too much. The problems you do see here are related to some attachments, the hands going through each other, so typical stuff. So it's not 100% working there with skin, but the muscles it should work with. And just to spin around the character in some different poses. So not perfect, but getting better. There is control, and sometimes you have to just turn off the lighting at different levels. There is, if you go to the skin node, a smoothing operation I do. The default is set to 0.5 right there for the smooth step, but you can take it down to 0.1 and it'll still look okay. I've add more detail in there, as well as this character is quite low res comparatively to what I'm showing you. That's the original resolution, so you can use either. Just add detail basically because the tissue is quite high res. And you still get a few pinching problems and things like that throughout. But and as well as this, I'm going to be addressing problems like this in a future update. I do have a solution for it. It just will take another little bit to test and make sure that it works. Yeah, other than that, like what you would get, what would make this look better is probably higher substeps. And right now we're only using 3, so it could be quality-wise a lot better. But this is just a quick demonstration right now. So we'll do something better in the future for something that we can render. Okay, and one last thing I forgot to mention was how I modified this just to change it. Um, Hopefully you won't have to do this too much in your own Sims, but basically the fat is a little bit. It was feeling like it was too heavy, so I made it slightly lighter in the animation. The way I did that was just by multiplying it by zero point 0.1, and that makes it feel less like it hangs and is uh, loose. This makes it more feel more. Yeah. Anyways, thanks for that. We will probably do some more tutorials. If you guys have any problems, definitely email us and let us know. Otherwise than that, thanks for trying it out. Lots of great support, lots of great questions. And if you haven't emailed us or anything, just tell us what you think about it or anything like that. We will be creating a Discord server. We're new to that, so just bear with us. We'll get it up as soon as possible. And yeah, that's it. So happy simulating.